My name is Chloe, and today I'm here with a recommendation video. So I don't do recommendation videos that often because I have decision paralysis where I cannot decide what to recommend, like what topic to recommend, as well as like how many books, like when enough is enough. But today I'm going to recommend 10 books that have to do with travel over Christmas. So now is a hot time to be traveling. If you guys are going to family members or on vacation or whatever you're doing, these books all have to do with traveling for the holidays. And I love to like read about traveling for the holidays to kind of like hype myself up for it, because truthfully, I do not enjoy traveling for the holidays, especially with all these little kids. I don't love it, but if I read books about it, it kind of hypes me up, gets me excited for a road trip or a plane ride or something like that. So let's just get into the books. I am going to insert pictures of all of these because I don't have most of them. So let's just get started. So the first one is The Mistletoe Connection. This one is one that I read years ago and I loved it. It is a story of a bunch of people who are stuck in a airport over Christmas, and they are just all their lives kind of intertwine, and it is just so great. And like, I personally love airports, and prior to having kids, I love to travel. Even like, I still love to travel, but with all the kids, it makes it kind of hard. But I love like the magic that comes in an airport. Now, hear me out. I think it's just interesting because you can meet people from all over the world. And I have always been the type of person that like, when I people watch, I just want to know their stories, and there's no better place to do that than in the airport. And this book kind of personifies that. It's all the people you could meet in an airport, and their stories that you can learn and how you guys interact. And I loved it. The next one is Dashing Through the Snow by Debbie McComber. So this is about two people who meet in an airport again, and they both cannot fly for whatever reason, and so they agree to share a rental car and drive from San Francisco to Seattle or vice versa. I don't know, somewhere along the West Coast for Christmas. And it's their road trip adventure. And this is also a Hallmark movie if you're interested in that. But I enjoyed the book. I thought it was a fun time. And again, kind of that you never know who you're going to meet in an airport. Also by Debbie McComber is Jingle All the Way, and this one I did not like as well. I gave it 3 stars. This is about kind of a workaholic woman who is forced to take like a 1-month sabbatical, and so her assistant sends her on this cruise down the Amazon over Christmas, and she meets like the tour guide or whatever, and it's their romance, and so they are cruising on the Amazon, and yeah, there's not a lot of Christmas vibes or typical cold Christmas vibes, but it's also a travel story. Then we have The Christmas Train by David Baldacci. So this is another one that I gave kind of 3 stars. I didn't love it, but this is about a man who has been blacklisted from the airlines, and so he has to take a train across the country to see his girlfriend, I think, for Christmas. And so he's also a descendant of Mark Twain, and so his grandfather's last wish was that he would write a like train travel story that Mark Twain didn't. And so there's that. There's also all the people he meets on the train, including kind of the one who got away, and his journey on this train to see his girlfriend for Christmas. So it wasn't my favorite, but it definitely has those travel vibes. Then we have A Cross Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh. Now, I did love this book. So this is about a woman and her brother's best friend and like her childhood crush. They are driving, again, kind of cross country together for Christmas to go see the brother. And it's funny. It's quirky. She wants to get there like as fast as possible. And he's like, no, let's take our time and sightsee. So there's a lot of festive stops along the way. And it was so cute. Then we have Finding Noel by Richard Paul Evans. So this one is a story that definitely has like the cold, wintry vibes. And it is about this man who meets a woman at a diner, and they have like a friendship. And she had been separated from her sister when she was young due to the foster care system. And so they are finding Noel, which is the girl's sister. So there is like a road trip element. There's also a lot of the story that's not a road trip element. So there's both, but it's definitely an inspirational, warm, Christmassy, cozy book, and definitely one that will tug at your heartstrings. Then we have Comfort and Joy by Kristen Hanna. So this is not one of my favorite Kristen Hannas, but this is a Christmas book about a woman who is on an airplane, and then the plane crashes somewhere in Canada, I think, and she like wanders into this hotel or motel and finds this little boy who's like, hey, my dad's not going to love it, but I'm going to give you a room. And so it's her relationship then with the dad and the little boy. And there's a twist at the end that some people love. I thought it was interesting. if you can hear, my 2-year-old is making this video really hard to film. But comfort and joy, yeah. So it is. It starts with travel because she's on the plane, which may not be comforting if you are taking a plane trip, but it all works out in the end, and it was a great story. Then we have 3 books that are about people traveling to warmer areas over Christmas. So if you are doing that, or if you live in a warmer area, let me know. Today is actually a beautiful day here. It's going to be in the mid 50s Fahrenheit, but it has been frigid. We've got our first snow. I'm not a fan of the winter, guys. I'm not a fan of the winter, and it's been unpleasant. But today's beautiful. So these 3 books are about people traveling to somewhere warmer for the winter. So we've got the Paradise series by Ellen Hildebrand. I've talked about this a lot lately. This is about a woman who finds out her husband had an alternate life kind of in the Caribbean islands, and she finds that out around Christmas and New Year's, and so her and her family go to the islands for the holiday time. Now, this one isn't overly holiday, but it is right around that time. Then we have Flirting with 40 by Jane Porter. This is about a woman who's about to turn 40, as you may guess, and it's her first year divorced. Her husband has the kids for Christmas, and so her friend is like, okay, let's go on this Hawaiian adventure. And so then her friend gets sick. She ends up having to go alone, and she is in Hawaii over the holidays and meets a guy and really just discovers herself, and it is great. And then we have One Charmed Christmas by Sheila Roberts. This is a book about a bunch of different people going on a cruise for Christmas. So our main character, her best friend, I think, asked her to go on the cruise with her, and then there's a pair of sisters, a pair of brothers, and a father-daughter duo. All of them are on this cruise for the holidays. I didn't personally think it was overly Christmassy, but it definitely had some Christmas vibes. You could tell it was a holiday time, and it's these 4 groups of people and how their lives interact. So that is all of the books that I have read and can recommend that are all like 3-star or above for me, some of which I really liked. If I had to say pick a couple off this list, I would say The Mistletoe Connection, Dashing Through the Snow, A Cross Country Christmas, and maybe Finding Noel. Well, I don't know. All of those that are kind of holiday adjacent, I would recommend. But that is everything. Let me know, do you have some favorites that you've read? Have you continued on in the Cross Country Christmas series by Courtney Walsh? I'm kind of afraid of continuing because I've heard the rest are not as good, or the second is not as good. But let me know if it's worth it. There's a ton on my TBR that I think sound great, but if there's any that you particularly love, let me know, because this year we are not traveling for holidays, just with a young child and a 4-kid. Like I said, we can't take the circus on the road this year, so I'm hosting, and so we're not doing it this year. But if you guys have recommendations for me, let me have them, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.